1. Okay. Three, two, one. Okay.
Hello everybody. Before we get started, as always, I want to give a shout out to the lovely music we've been listening to during pre-stream here. This is Dreamer by Declan DP. You can find their information in the lower left-hand corner of the screen. Thank you to Declan and everybody like them who makes it free to use our low-cost assets for us streamers so we can have better streams. Thank you very much. Hacha! Hello everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever it is in your part of the world. I am Deuscain, your variety type streamer for the night, and tonight we are going to be playing some Tavern Talk. A high fantasy visual novel where we're running a tavern and we're dishing out the quests, and as of last time we played this, we're also apparently saving the world. I'm still dealing with long COVID problems, including an extra bout of sleepiness, despite trying to take a nap after work, and my throat was fine for most of the day, and then like right when stream started, I'm just like so, you know, fun times. But hi, how are you doing? I hope you had a good weekend. Hope you had a good Monday. As always, I want to chat just a little bit before we start our stream. So yeah, let's see how everybody's doing. So my stream was my weekend was spent entirely on Monster Hunter Rise. I picked that up. I've been fiddling around with the Insect Glaive. I'm starting to make sense of this one, and it's I'm doing good. I'm seeing the potential. So good weapon. Trying things out, doing things and stuff. So jeez, this heckin' cough. My God. But anyway, so not a whole lot going on this weekend since our last stream on Friday night. Just a lot of Monster Hunter. Though there is one thing. On Twitter today, which, by the way, if you're not following on my socials, you really should. I got lots of cool stuff there. I have been working on a super secret project for the last, month or so. Working with an editor to do a compilation video on a little game called A Little to the Left. A puzzle game that I didn't realize until this morning was the week that my VODs were going live for my playthrough of the second DLC for A Little to the Left. And I'm like, well, I've got the final version of the highlights reel. I guess I should put that live this week on Wednesday or something. So we have a video premiere going live Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern. If you go to my Discord, I think I did this right. Yes. So I used a tool that basically tells you exactly when the video is going to go live in your own time. So yeah. Also, yes, I have a Discord. You should go there, check it out. Still growing the community. Mostly I post a lot of memes I find there. But there's some other channels you can chat with me, you can interact. It is one of the few Discords I still have notifications turned on. So if you message me there, I will see it. So, yeah. But yeah, so that's gonna be premiering on Wednesday, and I also just put out a bunch of new commissions this morning. I think I've got 2 out right now that I just sent out. Actually, technically 3. I have a third one in the works that I sent out like a week or 2 back. So I have 3 active currently, and I might get a fourth, because I basically am looking at like what I'm using for my my schedule, and I've been using the same like couple pieces of art for a little while now. So I'm like, you know what? Let's update these. Let's clean them up. So getting some new art, which should be nice. Some of them, I think the turnaround time for some of them is like a month. Which I think the turnaround time for both of them is like a month. Let me actually look at the. Of course, I closed those. 1 second. Yes. So all 3 of my active commissions have a due date, basically end of September, beginning of October. So it's about how long it takes for art to get put out. Sometimes they come out faster than that. I've had some that are like super fast. Because what's the? Does it show this here? I know this was a fast one. Yeah, so I had one here that I put out in July. I submitted it July 29th. The final version was turned in August 3rd. So like less than a week later. Usually they're a bit longer on that. Another one here that was July 31st, turned in August 12th. May 25th, June 5th. So usually like a couple weeks. It really depends on like who's working on it and what they've got, but yeah, the art that I'm currently using is from, I got one from January, one from April, and one from May. All very good pieces. I still love them, but a little variety would be nice too. So I'm adding in some new options that I wanted to get back. So yeah, so that's a thing that's in the works. Hey Perry, thank you for the well wishes for the new stream, or for the good stream. Much appreciated. I need to talk to you about doing some Monster Hunter collabs on Friday night, because you mentioned that in passing, and I've been just chewing through Rise, and I'm loving it. And yes, I need to send you some DMs. I think it's on my desktop as a like reminder thing that I'm supposed to do that I haven't done yet. Is that there? What was on my to-do list that I put there? Yes. So I have things to do. I need to message people. Yeah, it'd be great. We'll figure something out. We'll schedule a time. But what else have I got in the works right now? So current games. We are currently doing Tavern Talk tonight, as I said earlier. I don't know when we're going to finish. It feels very close to the end, and it has moved very quickly through the last act of the story. The first two acts, especially the second act, was super long, and then a lot of the other stuff is pretty fast. Act 3 has been going real quick. So we might finish Tavern Talk tonight. We might take it to next week. Depends. Wargroove is much the same. It might be done this week. It might be done next week. And then I'm going to be changing up and not doing the just chatting stream on Tuesdays every week like I was doing. So we're going to be playing a game called Fury this week, which is an old like boss rush game that's a bit of a bullet hell too. So I started it a while back, never finished it. It's a very challenging game, and I'm kind of curious how I'm going to handle it going in with a couple of Soulsborns under my belt and just seeing how much I've improved. So that'll be fun to check out on Tuesday. If we I don't think we'll beat it, but if we play it and get through it, great. Otherwise, it's fine. And I did have it in my schedule to do, not my schedule, but one of my things I promised myself that I would do is I would take 1 week off per season. Usually the transition week between like the start of, in this case it'd be like the start of fall, so it'd be like the last week of September. So it would have been like the week of the 16th through the 22nd or the 23rd through the 29th, something like that. I might take it early if we finish some games, just to give myself a little bit of time off between games, and then we'll pick up something new, because I don't really want to like start something and then take that week off. It feels a little weird and awkward to do that, so I don't want to. So we won't do that. I do have something really nice. God, this cough. I was fine most of the day. That's what frustrates me the most. It's fine most of the day, And then like in the last like hour, my throat's been acting up again. But yeah, I actually have a bunch of games that are going to be coming out soon that I really have my eye on. Let me actually check Steam, because I just moved a few things around. I did move like Fields of Mystria further up. It's early access now, but people have been... I saw a few people playing it. They've been liking it a lot. I also moved Vampire Therapist up. Fate's Day Night Remastered went up. There's an adult game that's coming out in like a week. Or I think it's this week, but that's not a Twitch game. And then my Oshi, Dear Vividly Vivi, said that if anybody plays Broken Sword, Shadow of the Templars Reforged on stream, she will definitely drop by. And I might have to do it for the Oshi, guys. I might have to do it for the Oshi. But a week after that, Bloomtown: A Different Story is going to be going live. Finally, September 24th. And then there's another adult game like beginning of October. Those adult ones are purely for me. Honestly, I haven't touched any like adult content games like at all lately. And part of it is I think like with as much as I'm streaming, like I only have like two, like unless I'm playing a game on my own after I'm done streaming, I really only have like Wednesday and Thursday nights plus the weekends. And I just don't... I've got like 3 or 4 visual novels right now that I'm like, I should start these. I should play these. I should get through these. And I'm just avoiding them because I'm kind of like, once I start playing them, they're just going to consume my time. I'm kind of like avoiding touching them at all. But it will be interesting. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what we'll see what I pick up for the next few weeks. Because like I said, September is a crazy month for games coming out. Enoitra, actually it would be Enotria. The last song is also coming out September 18th. It's like a Friday. Is that why it's the 18th? Wednesday. But that's coming out. That's one of the ones I played during that demo stream in... God, when was that? Like June or July? But that is definitely one that I want to see some reviews on, because what I played during the demo was a lot less polished than I would have liked it to have been. So we shall see. Definitely some of these I can't play all of them on stream. I can't stream that many days. At most I can slot 3 games, and I know what one of them is going to be already. So yeah, so sometime between now and like mid to late September, I'm gonna have to slot 2 to 3. Well, I'm slotting 1, but yeah, probably 3 new games. I might finish Fury, I might not. It depends. Fury is very tough, and if I hit a wall with it again, I might just tap out. And there's no shame in that. If the game's really hard, then yeah, tap out and say your goodbyes. But we're just about ready to tap over to Tavern Talk, but I want to do one last bio break before we do that. So I'm actually going to tap BRB, and then we will come back to game. So let me switch this over to be right back, and then I realized I hit mute in the middle of that. We're gonna do a quick BRB, and then we're gonna jump into the game afterwards. So sorry for the delay, everybody, but we're gonna get started on soon. All right, see you in a few minutes. Alright, everybody, I am back. Let's boot up the game now, and we'll get right in there. There you go. Okay. Apologies for the delay. My tummy is not super happy with me tonight. Alright. I don't know if I've seen that before. That's interesting. Twilight Chasm. Alright, so let's see what this is about. The 32nd of the Astral Moon. And Fable did not come back for their event. So we sent people off to do quests, and we're waiting for, like, Fable to come back. Good morning. Slept well? That greeting ain't gonna do, Innkeep. Give me your best lines. I'll hear them all today. Top of the morning to you, adventurers. Go on. Peace and contentment be upon you, travelers. Sweet water and good berries, friends? Alright, enough. You seem to be in high spirits. Not often you get a chance to work on the project of a lifetime. I'm glad you're so passionate about this. I hope you didn't give Caer too much of a hard time convincing you. Nah. Once I mentioned the dragonfire... Ooh. Where'd that come from? This is why I need more work on my voice things. Welcome back. Thank you, Perry. Once I mentioned the dragonfire, it would have been harder to stop her from going on the quest. It was just tough to find her. Didn't take you for a nighttime soup enjoyer. I'm not, usually. I can be persuaded, though, with the right soup and company. Aw, Kyle. And I assume your quest for comfort food turned out successful? Not at all. I was thwarted by the shadow of night. Dearest Rhea, I promise we shall endeavor to make shortbread another day, when the sun is high in the sky. And the stores are open. I'll need to make that sword first, though. Did Carolyn update you on what's at stake? Sure did. Those sigils of alcoholic zest won't know what hit them when you see my newly forged weapon. It's sigils of alkahest. Gesundheit. So I assume you've worked out a game plan? More or less. I think we got a lot of info in that quest of yours. I'm sorry. You worked with what you had. We'll manage. Though, that ever-burning flame of Leviathan sounds more like a myth than something real. Sounds exactly like something you'd need for a mythical weapon capable of saving the world. Ha! Still, are you sure you're okay with reforging your sword for this, Caer? Yeah, it's the right thing to do. It's not what I was asking about. Believe me, I know a thing or two about the importance of an heirloom. It's fine. It's just... I wonder if I'll still feel the same connection to my Baba when I look at the sword afterwards. Eventually, everything she gazed at in life will be gone. Don't think she'd like looking at the sword of Carolyn the hero? That has quite a wonderful ring to it. I didn't know you, Grandma, but reforging that sword with Dragonfire to save the world? I think she would have been mighty proud of you. Aw, happy Caer smiles. And I'll make sure that weapon is the best anyone's swung this side of the Aether Tree. You have a competition to win, after all. Exactly. I've been thinking all night about what techniques to use. Design ain't exactly final, but I'll finish it during the trip to the Highlands if I fast enough. Rhea, are you doing okay? You never heard of giving someone time to think? You seem to be putting a lot of pressure on yourself. This just can't be some simple run-of-the-mill weapon. There's so much to decide before starting the forging process. Hitting, squelching, tapering. The 5 Varican heat treatment techniques. And the 5... Wait. That could actually work. I'm surprised you still remember those. Certainly, you were very passionate about the method. I'm just stoked to get a weapon made by you, Rhea. If it's you, I know my Baba sword's in good hands. You seem to have the forging part covered. Anything planned for the rest of the quest? Right. Since we don't know much about who or what might be guarding the flame, we're taking Hex along. Should we encounter any defenses of the magical sort? As for how to get to the Highlands, Clay and Tia couldn't come along, so let's hope Baya is up for helping us with a tree travel thing. Seems like you've got your bases covered. You as the main fighter, Ray as the craftsman, Hex and Baya as magical support, and Kyle as... I'm afraid I won't be able to fill a role this time, Innkeeper. I tried to distract myself with the mere thought of dear Evelyn hurt and alone, or worse. It struck me with torment strong enough to make even this undead heart bleed with worry. No matter what transpired between us, all I craved was to know her safe. But to allow my dear friends to march into danger alone was no less distressing. He was almost inconsolable the entire evening. I didn't want to choose one side only to lose the other forever. That's when I slammed the empty bowl of soup down on the table between us. We weren't going off to die just because he took his eye off us for a few days. And yet, that very fate had struck me several times in the past. I said, well, too I'd be damned if you ever get to see me master weapon. Wait, too I'd be damned if you're never get to see me master weapon. Doesn't matter if I have to chew my way through that bleeping tree myself. Heard the dead have the taste for bark anyways. It was as if those words washed away most of the anguish that was ailing my soul. Surely it was time to believe in the future, and to reconcile with the past I left behind, all for my most cherished people. We still don't know what's up with that slime. As long as I didn't forget along the way. But we found a workaround for that. Flashcards! I just need to pull them out when be greeted by the wonderful cards prepared for me by Rhea and Carolyn, even though they may be far from me. That sounds great, Kyle. There's one about you as well. I'm honored. Seems like you thought of everything then. Hopefully. Help from your drinks will be mighty appreciated nonetheless. Anything in particular in mind? Some fire resistance seems like it would come in pretty handy. Well, that does sound reasonable. We can focus on agility if we're going to be going in that direction. Don't think we want to take whatever traps we run into head on. And some strength as well, for anything we can't avoid. That and fire resistance should definitely help with forging weapons as well. Though that ghost berry I bought you yesterday, wouldn't mind some invisibility either. Might give us some imaginative ways to deal with whatever challenges we end up facing. Concentrating on intelligence to take full advantage of that sounds like a good option too. Hex would like that. I'll bet. Knowing him, there's an equal chance of his ideas going right or horribly wrong. If things go south, we need charm to talk our way out of anything. And this way, their Evelyn will be stunned by most captivating entrance. Sounds decent. Some intelligence could also help with figuring out the techniques you mentioned. And my design, I guess. Alright, Innkeep. You look like you're bursting to help us out with this decision. Is it going to be dexterity with strength as a backup and fire resistance, or should your approach this with intelligence, a small dose of charisma in case things go really wrong, and some handy invisibility? Well, if you're asking me... let's stick with ghost berries. So what does ghost berry enhance? the two sides, but it's a -1 to the top. If there was a drink for that. Yeah, Sparkling Nebula would work. Right. Lots of brain power and a little bit of charm and fusion with invisibility. Try it. If you want to forge that weapon properly, it might be best to reserve your strength. Also, anyone guarding the flame should be pretty invested in the dragon's well-being. So here, to solving challenges ahead of you cleverly. Appreciate it, Innkeeper. I think this will put us on the right track. With that, we're off to the islands. Me and Kyle are gonna go grab Hex before I let him check on his ex-wife. You go get by? Sure. Good. Alright, that's it, Innkeep. One last line for good luck. Make it count. Mind the creaky step on your way out. Heh, fair. Fare thee well, dear Innkeeper. Kinda weird, isn't it? What is? It's gonna be a battle for the fate of the world. The Elfie ain't here to wear themselves stupid about it. They'd love this, I think. Not the impending doom, but all this getting together to defeat evil stuff. Make sure to tell those guys heading to the Twilight Portal, keep an eye out for them. I will. Good. Suppose it's time for me to head out as well. Stay safe, Caer. Always, Innkeeper. Alright, the nose has been cleared. Innkeeper, we have returned. I can see that, Tia. I was awaiting you. And I'm surprised to see you here, Jade. Yeah, well, Miss Holier Than Thou dragged me along. Some bleep about finally doing my part. I distinctly remember you expressing open interest in our plight when we were talking to Inigo. I believe you asked multiple questions that indicated your desire to help. And I remember asking how much you'd pay, and you said nothing, so I said no thanks. And yet you didn't resist coming along. And you have a better job lined up, Jade? Not yet. Inigo and I are eyeing something, but I guess I've got some time to kill. Perhaps Inigo can help too, then. They better. Not sure if I can deal with Princess here alone. No need to deal with me. I can handle myself. I'd love to have Inigo on the team. Me too. I seem you've written us a quest, Innkeeper. I have. Take a look. Excellent work. I knew we could count on you. Let me have a look at that. We just have to catch the guy at the portal. Seems simple enough. We could even set up an ambush. Or be sneaky if he's already there. You can sneak, big guy? I can do a lot of things. A few years back, I spent time with some Lithic Panthers who showed me how to sneak up on anybody. I just don't like doing it. It seems a bit rude, you know? No, I don't. But I think this situation calls for a little rudeness. Agreed, it does. And for a little more manpower. You're right, Innkeeper. We should ask Inigo for help. Also, Hex suggested taking Voy along. He'd be great at distractions and knows his way around the Twilight Chasm, should our quest lead into it. Apparently he has family there, though I hope we don't need to disturb them. Anyone else? We considered a whole lot more, but Scully and Grace made a good point. They said not everyone is battle-tested, and that it'd be reckless to take an inexperienced adventurer along. They also said we should look into more backup plans for the backup plan. I think they just wanted an excuse to do some research and stay away from the bloodshed. Can't blame them. Millie really wanted to come too, but Dave said no. Is he coming himself? Of course. Made those two ask him before we got here. We need good fighters, and kid's got some talent. I hope he said goodbye properly this time. Carolyn made sure he did. Never saw a more terrifying death glare in my whole life. It was very impressive. It was. So, are you finished with your questions? Actually, could you review the plan for me one more time? It's been a long couple of weeks. Sure. So listen up. We make it to the Twilight Portal by moon pools, and we stop our big bad evil bleeper from going through. If we fail that, or he's faster than us, we chase him through the Twilight Chasm and into Ur. And we prevent him from getting that fancy axe. If that fails, well, we stop him at all costs. Sounds like a good plan. While you're at it, will you keep an eye out for Fable for me? Of course. Now, Innkeeper, by the dragons and all that is holy in this world, can we count on your help again? Absolutely. What do you need? Easy, we just need to be quicker than that maniac. We should be the first to reach the portal. And we should be the first to attack him, all while dodging his counterattacks. Outspeeding him seems to be the smartest option here. You're wrong. It's foolish to think his strikes won't be powerful. We need to be well protected against him, so we can take him down before he really hurts any of us. Don't be stupid. If we're fast enough, he won't even get a chance to hurt us. I'd like to see you say that again when you're lying in a pool of your own blood. Okay, maybe we need both. It's just the balance that counts. If we could focus a whole lot of defense, but keep some dexterity in our back pocket, maybe some of those fast infusion thingies can make up the difference. I could hasten you with some gold feathers or sable fangs. Great! Alternatively, you could give us a lot of dexterity instead, with just a little bit of defense on top. And to make sure we don't get hurt, give us some of that frost armor Scully keeps talking about. Sure thing, I've got enough frozen pine cones left for that. I don't think Jade and Tia can make the decision without bloodshed, so could you help us out? Of course, I know just what to do. I, in fact, don't know what to do. So it's a lot of defense with a little bit of speed and haste. Or a lot of speed with a little bit of defense. Ugh. Why in God's name the friggin' pine cones? Can I even make that drink? Wait, don't even want to make that drink. So I'm looking at this one for speed, and I'm using the frozen pine cones. I don't think that works. But the alternative is a swift strike, which also doesn't work. No, it would have to be the coffee. Or, not the coffee, the last whisper. You know what? Let's try it. Let's go with Jade. She knows how to fight. There's a lot of green in this one. Last whisper. Hope I'm choosing right. You can never go wrong with dexterity. Plus, to be able to show off your cool frost armor when his blade shadows against it, or whatever. I knew you'd make the right choice, Innkeeper. There was no right choice, Jade. You both wanted the same thing in different proportions. You chose the cooler one. Or the more reckless one. I'll wait outside. Catch up with me when you're ready to admit I was right. Alright, Clay, let's go. Clay? You should... Are you okay? No, I don't think so. Aren't you scared? Of what? All of this. The fate of the world has become a very heavy weight to bear, don't you think? What if someone gets hurt and I can't stop it? What if I can't protect you and the others and the world and the ferrets? Clay, stop. Please, for a moment, just stop. I know this is scary. Truth be told, I'm scared too. My whole life has been building up to this moment. I've always been told I'm meant to save people, and if I can't, what's the point of me, you know? You are the point. I'm glad you exist even if you don't save anyone. You're not some mythical savior, you're my friend. And you are mine. I'm a little less afraid because I have you with me. And you taught me how to value myself as a person, despite all the weight on my shoulders. I wish you would do the same for yourself. I promise you, together we will get through this. We will save each other and our friends and the world and all the ferrets. And the innkeeper while we're at it. Thank you, I appreciate being included. You're enough, Clay. You don't have to worry you're not. You too, Tia. Don't think I'm excluding you. I wouldn't dream of it. Having you two believe in me is all the strength I need. Can we still hold hands on the way there, so it's a little less scary? Of course. Remember, you can never lose me. Your bracelet will always tell you exactly where I am. If you get lost somehow, despite your impeccable sense of orientation, mine will help me find you too. You just get lost looking. Maybe I'd have to ask Jade for help. I'd do that for you. Thank you to you. You're a great friend. I don't see her bracelet anywhere. And she's not wearing it on her wrist. I don't see it anywhere else. He's got his on his hand, but she's not wearing hers. So are you. I forgot the line before. Oh. So are you. Alright then, best bud. Let's do this. Together. Best of luck. We will need it. She's got a bit of a crush on him. You must have made them some really good drinks, Innkeeper. I've never seen Clay that determined. I tried my best. I have to say, Grace, I'm surprised you're not accompanying Hex to see the ever-burning flame. She didn't want to stop studying magic spells. Maybe it's not on her wrist, an ankle, maybe? Maybe it is. But I swear in an earlier scene she had one on her wrist. And I don't see it, so I'm wondering if somebody stole it. But she didn't want to stop studying magic spells. She thinks it might help us solve all this. I think what might help me right now is a drink. Something to get my thoughts flowing gracefully despite all this mess? Give me a moment. Brain juice. A delicious thought detangler just for you. I don't think I've ever tasted detangler as delicious as this. You've tasted detangler? Melly, would you like a drink as well? No, thank you. I've already had 3 hot chocolates today. I think any more magic enters my system, I'm going to eat the sun. On to another topic then. I've heard you formed a research team? We did! Obviously Grace and I are leaders, but we also recruited Scully and Archie. And Una said she wanted to sit with us and crochet while we work. What a great excuse to help. She insists that we don't call it helping. Of course she does. Love Una. Rufus is also helping us. His wool is so soft it calms everyone down. I wish Dave would join us too. I guess he's busy fighting the mean guy. But he promised to be back soon, so... he better keep that promise. What are you looking into anyway? Melly mentioned spells. Are those the ones Hex found in the tower? Yes, those ones exactly. He stayed up all night decoding their formulas, but as soon as he figured out what they were about, he lost interest. So I picked them up. Most are rudimentary, all things we already have in our spellbooks. But 2 stuck out to me. You care to educate me? Which you want to hear about first? Teleportation or soul binding? Talk to me about soul binding. X brought home a glass case with a glowing floating scroll inside. After he got it out and removed all the protective runes, he was pretty disappointed. A riddle-locked case and protective runes? Seems like someone didn't want it to be used. I'm pretty sure I know why. It describes pulling souls right out of people's bodies and binding them into objects. Completely volatile magic, and dangerous, I assume. It's been a little hard to translate. I'm trying to figure out if any side effects it might have, so I can convince Hex not to use it whenever he's slightly inconvenienced. Sounds difficult, but I'm sure you'll figure it out. What about the other scroll? The other scroll... one of the scrolls he found holds a powerful teleportation spell. Now, I fancy myself quite equipped at conjuration magic, but Hex finds it boring. He picked the scroll up because he assumed the golden runes meant it was special. He was right, but I guess it didn't have enough fire for him. More special than the soul binding scroll? No, but still special enough. I think if cast correctly, you could go anywhere in Asteria with incredible accuracy. Even to protected places and other planes, but I'm trying to figure out how to use it without destroying myself. It requires more mana than people usually have in their body. So you think it kills the caster? Almost certainly so. It still has a lot of promise. Maybe I can modify it? Best of luck. Thank you. X also brought back a lot of Wizard's personal notes. Diaries and such, retellings of his exploits, his hopes, dreams, and fears. When I have some more time, I think I'll be able to do a deep dive into who he was. Maybe I can even put a little exhibition together, if Voy and Inico will let me borrow those magical items. I doubt they dare refuse you. I'd hope not. I want some magic scrolls of my own to decipher. But first we need to finish this research, just in case we figure out what to do. If... It's just nice to have something to do, is all. Plus, I'll take any excuse to hear more of Scully's Everbloom stories. He's trying to figure out whether we can reverse the sigils. That'd be neat. Maybe you can duct tape them back together? I don't think so. With Archie's help, we've also made this whole board where I can collect and connect all our clues. Specifically, I've been looking into who exactly this necromancer guy could be. Clay said he noticed some flowers on his armor. I think that might be a clue. Maybe he's a florist, or they're zombie flowers, or he wants to destroy all flowers. We need to figure out what his motive is. Because if we can figure out his motive, we can figure out who he is. Then maybe we can figure out his weakness. Not that we'll need them, because Dave and the others will... What did he say? Kick his abs. But looking into it makes me... calmer? Yes. Oh, alright. Right, Innkeeper? The zombies are going to eat them like they ate my parents? They won't. And they'll all protect each other. He'll come back for you. I hope so. I don't want that to happen again. I miss my parents. I wish they were here to hold my hand. What were they like? Well, I remember my dad always told me bedtime stories about swashbuckling burglars. I remember my mom loved making things out of yarn, especially socks. They were really nice and cool, and I loved them so much. I know you can't replace your parents, but is it okay if I come hold your hand until Dave, Carolyn, and Fable come back? That'd be nice. I feel a lot safer with them around, you know? Like when I'm home again. You're not alone anymore. You are home. You are home. I think so too. But enough dramatic backstory. I'm turning into Dave. Just a little less repressed and gay for Fable. Melly! Maybe it's time to head out. We'll update you on our research tomorrow, Innkeeper, but first, we're gonna get a lot of ice cream. Exactly. Una promised she'd make some. Save some for me. We'll try. I thought I had 3 quests. Who's taking the 3rd? Hello, you. Heir to Dragonfire. Okay, so Twilight Chase and Heir to Dragonfire are out, but Dead Parade doesn't have anybody yet. Hello there, it's been a while since you last showed up. So what? Oh, it's 1 minute for... You know what? This is a really great time to stop and take that ad break, because we're about to grab the last quest. So let's trigger that ad break and go right to the BRB, and then we'll be back in with fewer interruptions. So let's tap that now, and we'll be back in a few. Alright, everybody, we are back, so let's jump back into the game. Hello there, it's been a while since you last showed up. I thought something might have happened to you. A lot of things have happened, not all of them good. It also means not all of them were bad either. I did end up finding those golden loon feathers quickly, with a little help from Voyage. But with everything going down, I decided to stick around and help those in need. And that sounds just like you. How are things with you, though? You don't need to say much for me to know what that face means. I've seen it once or twice before. Is there something I can do for you? What is there to be done, Quincy? It's like everything is in limbo. Like dancing on the edge of a blade, one wrong move and it's all over? Something like that. Would it help if I asked you for a drink? Maybe. You know, it always helps me when I'm feeling down. What's that? A good cup of Quincy's hot chocolate. Here, after all you've heard, you might need it more than me. Thank you, that's very kind of you. Now, go on, make me a drink. This one or another one. Whatever you'd like. Oh my god, I got 2 speed drinks in a row. Where was this the whole game? Okay. So minus strength is fine. Everything else is bad. Right? I think those are good. Honeyflower inspiration, sure. It should be 2 greens. Hot chocolate. Drink Master, mix every drink at least once. Couldn't wait to try it out right away. Well, you replicated it perfectly. My hands and heart are warm. Want a sip yourself? You look like you need it. Maybe later. Maybe this drink be warmer than the currents these times. It most certainly is. Thank you, Innkeep. Of course. So, how are you? Well, I'm just numb. I'm neither worried or elated. I'm just avoiding thinking about it at all costs. Yes, no. Even when I think about it, I can't quite reach the feelings I know are supposed to be there. It's like I'm stuck floating on some glass case, watching the stars fall around me. But no matter how hard I try, I can't reach out to touch them. And I can't figure out whether I want to. Touch them, I mean. It certainly seems to scare you, worrying about the world and other people. It's been a while. I didn't think I'd care again. Didn't want to. But it just happened? Yes, just like that. Without my consent, I might add. The heart wants what it wants, and sometimes what it wants is friendship. But I can see how that's a scary feeling. So many things are on the line now, perhaps more than you bargained for. It was easier when I just looked away. Would you rather look away than help your patrons, your friends? No. But now I have to face the fear of losing them. Funny. Funny. Didn't you swear to me you were done fearing death? That you had nothing left to lose? Sometimes lying to ourselves is easier than lying to others, I guess. I'll keep my I told you so to myself. I just feel like I'm stuck in an endless cycle and there's no way out that doesn't tear me apart. Would it help to know that We've all felt like that at some point in our lives? Not really, no. And let me leave you with this instead. Love may come at the price of loss, but inevitability of loss also comes with the reward of love. You can't lose something without having loved it. And so you should love whatever it is you fear to lose. Those are the moments that matter. The moments that make your life worth living. Besides, you have the power to step out of that cursed circle anytime. Do I now? Write your own story, my friend. Don't doom yourself because you think it's what you deserve. I forgot how good you are at giving advice. It makes me a bit envious. You'll get out there eventually. I hope so. Thanks for checking in. I think I needed that. Of course. Please don't stop reaching out. Safety of isolation is not worth the loneliness. I'll try to remember that. You better. Now, I heard the night market is close by. I really don't want to waste this opportunity, so don't let me hold you back. Until next time, take care of yourself, be kind to yourself, and be safe out there. So he didn't take the last quest. Why don't I get a catchphrase? Oh well. Guess it comes with age, maybe the next millennium. Oh. Oh! Hello there. Greetings, traveler. Oh, hello, old friend. Catch up with your past. So this is the necromancer, I see. Nice armor. Is it new? No. Doesn't it seem familiar? The flowers certainly do. Did you keep my books? You know, I imagine this place differently. It's nice. Thank you. But I thought you'd be long gone by now. After all, you do like running, don't you? I like it here. Though your visit is making me consider moving soon. It's not advised to stay in one place for too long anyway. Eventually the past will catch up to you. I figured. What brings you here really, Quasar? Oh, you know, this and that. I paid Murrow Castle a visit. It's quite serene this time of year. What for? Sightseeing? Trespassing? You broke in? I wouldn't phrase it like that. Berkeley is incredibly impolite. I was persistent in my approach. Politely, I knocked on the door. Unfortunately, vampires these days have no hospitality. The lady of the house greeted me with a snarl and slammed the door in my face. Not only that stopped me, but I found it quite rude. So did you break in? Obviously, as a last resort. There's something I needed more than manners. As expected, she wouldn't give up her precious relic freely. So you killed her? I would have, but no, the rat escaped. In the blink of an eye, she dissolved in a mist. Always consider that to be a vampire's most annoying skill. But at least I got what I wanted. And what would that be? Curious as ever, aren't you? And that's why I made it my job. What, being nosy? Something like that. I get to hear a lot of things every day. People like to talk. You manipulated your patrons into telling you their darkest secrets. I don't manipulate, I listen. I'm all ears. What would Lady Evelyn have that you, Quasar Duskbringer, would want? Just a little blood, ingredients for the execution of a grand design. Grand design? We were never ones to make big plans. Speak for yourself. Maybe times changed you. Oddly enough, you still look the same. I just noticed his ear is notched here. I had to make sure you'd recognize me after all. How could I ever forget you? Seems it's pretty easy for you to move on. It wasn't. Yet you're hiding. You ran away from everything that once mattered to build a life behind a counter in a shabby tavern. Is that why you're here, to throw your accusations around? No. I guess I just wanted one last chat now that everything's coming to an end. And I'm curious how this old friend of mine is doing. So how are you doing, friend? I'm full of hope for a better tomorrow. That is the sassiest fucking answer to give this man. Me too. I'm just afraid we're hoping for different dawns. We might be. How are you doing? Do you even want to know? It's my job, and my tavern is open to everyone. Your protective spells beg to differ. They let you through, didn't they? So, how about a drink, and then you tell me whatever it is you need to get off your chest? Sure, let's see if you still know me well enough. And if you remember what I taught you. Of course I do. Ooh. Okay, he likes charisma. This Andu is interesting. Oh, he won't even hold the sign. Is he in my book yet? Quasar, human, aged 58, paladin. Background, Magocracy, chaotic evil, arcana the devil. Interesting. How about this? Sweet and chatty. Not bad. Almost tastes like back in the day. Did you think I'd forget? Yes. I seem you're as good at abandoning memories as you are at abandoning people. Ouch. Seems like people are right about one thing, though. And that would be? Your drinks can influence fate. They can't save people, but they can push them in a direction, alter their destiny. I wouldn't go that far. I simply do my best to support my patrons in their endeavors. Will you support my endeavor? As I said, I serve everyone in this tavern. How noble. How awfully morally gray. How opportunistic. It's like nothing's changed. I like it that way. Making decisions for people, leading them to their doom. All because you can't help but wonder what a little entropy would do. I help. You help, sure. You always like to help when it was most convenient for you, when it got people to love you. I hope all your helping has aided you in forgetting them. I didn't forget them. Oh, was that so? I couldn't sleep for months. My heart bled and bled until there was nothing left to bleed. I was alone. And by the end of it, when nothing was left, there was just one question. How could the one person I trusted with my life turn on me like that? How dare he leave me with nothing but the stars staring at them alone? Wondering whether the blood would ever wash off? And how by the dragons and their false light? Is all that you've done with your freedom, this dastardly achieved freedom, this? There's still blood on our hands. It took me too long to realize I didn't have to give up, that I'm not like you. But it doesn't have to be their blood that sticks on my hands. And they're gone. Not for much longer. Soon the star rain and the flood that washed away our yesterday will open the gates to a new tomorrow. A new horizon, unhaunted by still ghosts. Quasar. Innkeeper. Why would you do something like this? Don't we owe it to them? The you I knew would have agreed. The me you knew was foolish. Some situations are hopeless and some decisions aren't easy. Decisions are quite easy once you set your mind to it. Say I need to tear apart Cassiopeia's wings for the stars to rain upon Gaia. An ambitious task. I could decide not to and abandon my plans because I'm intimidated by the complexity. Or scared of the consequences, but no, instead I choose to stick with it and get what I want. I don't give up. I succeed. It truly is that simple. If you care, you'd get it done, no matter how much effort it might take. Everyone was dead. I wasn't. Didn't we promise we'd always stand by each other's side, to never be alone again? We did. Didn't they deserve the same? They did. Then why are you here and they aren't? I don't know. Me neither. What did we mean to you? Nothing. We meant nothing to you. The home we built, it meant so little. And that's not true. Do you still ponder about the meaning of life watching the stars? No, there aren't any anymore. It's better that way. I know there's no risk in getting caught up in trivial things. That means there's no risk in getting caught up. Like getting caught up in the thought of a world without pain. Like that. So naive. So stupid. It meant everything to me. Don't lie to me! I've seen through the charade. Your tricks won't work on me anymore. Look at the stars now as they lie at our feet. A declaration of your failure. An elegy to your cowardice. And a demonstration of my endurance. Everything is set. Everyone will get what they deserve. Even your little replacements. Soon there'll be no more but fading memory on the horizon. Feels familiar, doesn't it? And they're alive, and they can be saved. They're alive indeed. What you should ask for yourself is how much longer, and if the time comes, will you run again? No. But you sent them to their deaths, did you not? I sent them to stop you. I'm aware. Which reminds me, I'll have to leave soon before your little pawns interfere with my threads of fate. Gertrude, come on, it's time to go. Gertrude. The Raven? Interesting. Care to explain? I sent you a little companion so you wouldn't be so alone, but I need her back now. You know I value my privacy. And I value the perfect execution of my plans. So thank you for collecting so much information for me. You don't have to do this. I don't, but I will. Anyway, I've got somewhere to be. Speaking of which, my invitation. The offer still stands. Join me and watch as I repair what you've destroyed 30 years ago. Join me to witness the renaissance of times past. I can't. My place is here. What a pity. It almost pains me to see you haven't changed one bit. I've moved on. You should try it sometime. Spoken like a true coward. It's not like I need you anyway. Not anymore. See you soon, old friend. Or not. Quasar Duskbringer. That is an evil fucking name. The Wheel of Fortune, 34th of the Astral Moon. Okay. Alright, there and there. I want to see Quasar's thing. I wish he wouldn't have come. Yeah, you know what? Fair. God, there's a lot of characters in this game. What is it? 18? Dear Lord. Good morning, Innkeeper. Good morning. How's your research going? Whoa! We did a lot of it. That sounds good. Yes. I can smell a breakthrough right around the corner. Are you writing that down, Archie? What? No, of course not. No notes are being taken here. None. Archie, I already told you. I might be the best as detective in Faso, and this might be the meeting of a lifetime. But the investigation has to come first. How are you going to have time to write a book about my detective career if the world ends in a few days? I mean, it won't, obviously. Because our friends are super strong and awesome. And we're super smart and awesome. We should still focus on backing them up. I'm sorry. It seems I can't help but gather material even now. You're an impressive detective, and... I feel what will happen if I stop thinking about my books. Is this what I think it is, Detective Melina? I'm afraid it is. Excuse me? It's a severe case of the nerves. Quick, Innkeeper, we need a remedy. Only our most revitalizing drink will do. Does the patient agree with their prescription? Really, it's not that serious. Thank you. Perhaps a cure that'll boost my toughness is just what I need. On it, Patient Zero. May this drink not be one of your tougher challenges. Oh, this is excellent. I could write a novella about the superb taste alone. I really appreciate the effort to cheer me up. This must have been worrying more than I realized. How can I repay? Repay or schmay? You should just bear your worries silently. I would accept an update in your research as compensation. Oh, certainly. We're happy to oblige. I thought my research of tales and myths would serve us well in identifying another weapon to slay evil. So I questioned as many scholars and turned as many pages as I could. And that sounds exciting. It might have been, if I had managed to find even a hint of anything useful. Extralaberry? Extralaberry? It's nothing but a legend. The lance of Longinus might be real, but it proved impossible to trace its location. Don't even get me started on the history of the sword Balmer. Balmung. My research ended in total failure. Don't say that. You wouldn't know there are any other weapons if you hadn't looked. It just means we have to move our research to focus on something else now. Like my investigation. Oh? Like I mentioned the other day, I really wanted to look into who this weird bad guy might be. With a man like his, he can't just be some random nobody. His plan does have a certain je ne sais quoi. Je ne sais quoi. It's just so mustache-twirling malicious. I bet he has a mustache. In any case, he must have left some traces we can follow. And if we figure out his real identity, we'll know his mortal weakness. Like an old wound? Exactly. Someone who wears too much armor must have something underneath. We'll just have to wait until he takes it off. Once he takes a bath, we should... Actually, I don't think this is a good idea after all. Still, Carolyn always says you know more about your opponent, the easier the victory. He does have a mustache. But this guy is like a ghost. No one had seen hide nor hair of him before all this started. And here I thought armor like that would have made him super recognizable, with the flowers and all. I did looked up what some of the men... did look up what some of them mean, the ones Clay was able to identify. They are petunias and marigolds to symbolize resentment, anger, grief, and mourning. So that told me absolutely nothing, besides that he's a bad guy with some big feelings about the world. Duh. But I got an idea. What about the other well-known necromancers? Maybe we could have a repeat offender on our hands? No one really seemed to fit, though. I was really, really close to ripping my fur out. And then I remembered all that stuff about the sigils. There was actually a necromancer that died when the portals opened. So I dug that file out of my pile, and yes! If the creation of the portals is what broke a sigil, that can't just be a coincidence. Therefore, the necromancer from back then must have faked their own death. Rebranded themselves as the mustache-twirling, green-armored bad guy that we're facing now. Shouldn't you be doing the pointing thing now? I'm just not feeling it, Innkeeper. I know it doesn't add up, okay? I'm sorry, Archie. This isn't the revelation of truth that it should be. When you write your book, the detective should definitely be pointing at something. Pointing! Yes, I'll write that down. Good. Oh god, Melly swore. I can't believe we couldn't find anything. Who taught you that word, Melly? Wouldn't you like to know? Oh well. What are you planning on doing now? We need a new perspective. Maybe there's something we haven't considered yet. That's why we brought some of our research materials with us. Wouldn't a library be better for this? Well, maybe, but there wouldn't be enough space to set up the conspiracy board. You brought the board here? Yep. Thanks for letting us set up here. Okay, I'll be in the back. Bye. I hope it's okay for us to take up some of your space. It's fine, Archie. You can go ahead. Much appreciated, Innkeeper. Well, don't you look cheaper? It's good to see you too, Una. You can spare me the pleasantries. Long day? Nah, I was just never really into all this research mumbo-jumbo. I was just surprised when I heard you volunteered for the research group. Ha! Your info gathering game is weak, Innkeep. I just chose the activity that's the least hassle. 2 months exercise isn't good for the retirement spirit. But I don't need to tell you that, do I? Before you get out another word of me, though, I'll need something to get my energy back. That whole frantic research atmosphere really tired me out. Something to bring your strength back? I got it. I feel like I could use some coffee tonight. My God. Here, for all the heavy-duty crocheting you're doing. I feel like I could crochet gloves for an entire army with this. You got some more adventurers stashed away in those back rooms of yours? Just some more frantic researchers, I'm afraid. So, what else have you been up to? Just making sure Grace and Scully don't work themselves into an early grave for the most part. Any news on that front? Are you in the mood to be underwhelmed? Listening to what my patrons want to share, whether good or bad, is a key part of my job. Spoken like a good little innkeep. As for their research, not many surprises there, to be honest. The damage that breaking the sigils did is pretty much irreversible, as expected. That teleportation spell Grace is looking into is also not getting any less dangerous. Even with all the modifications she's making, there's still a good chance of it backfiring. And by good chance, I mean like 70%. What kind of backfiring are we talking about? Like everything blowing up in fireworks and fun, or like killing you? No. Like immediately dying. Oh. How are Skelly and Grace feeling about everything? They're taking it in stride. Or they're just too stubborn to give up, I'm not sure. And that sounds like them. What about you? Me? All this must be pretty disheartening. I mean, not really. These kinds of doomsday scenarios just lose their impact after a while in this business. I've lived my life, I've made my choices. Now I'm just doing what I want either way. If the day's end at the end of days comes knocking and I'm on my porch crocheting and drinking, I'll have no regrets. But you're not on your porch. You're here, looking after the people trying to avert that doomsday scenario. Ugh, I can't believe I had to hear that from you. These are bad taste in my mouth. I could offer you another drink to wash it down. No thanks. Unfortunately, you've got a point. I guess I got swept up into all this a little. Sure is weird. What is? Caring? Not that I need to elaborate, preaching to the choir and all that. I don't know what you're talking about. Ha! Sure, whatever. Let me just ask you this. As you are, will you have no regrets when all this is over? You couldn't let me just have the last word, huh? No way in I'll leave you to contemplate that, I guess. Are Melly and Archie here? In the back. I'll go see if the young'uns need some company. Who's taking this last quest, damn it? It's been there like a whole day. Quasar. Oh, it's an achievement for something. Greetings. I mean, good mythical afternoon, adventurers. Good afternoon, innkeeper. Does this afternoon seem mythical to you? It seems wet. Sorry about that. We didn't have much time to dry off before coming in here. And the floorboards should be able to endure it just this once. It's okay if you want to leave now, Baya. We all made it back safe. Okay. But please keep the blankets. I could make some soup. We should be good for now. Thanks, Baya. Where are you headed, Baya? The swamp. I want to talk to my friend. I see. Goodbye. Let the tree know if you need any more help. I will come. Stay safe, Baya. Spit it out already. You've been chewing on this ever since we escaped that mountain. It's just, I feel bad, alright? So... that doesn't sound too good. Isn't that pretty obvious? Right. More importantly, have the others come back yet, Inky? And they haven't. Oh, it's a waiting game then. Great, my favorite. Alright, Inkeep, this is where you're coming in with a drink. I'm gonna explode if we keep brooding like this. We're not that rogue fellow. And which of my drinks would be of aid? Not sure which could help soften the outcome of our quest, but... damn it! I fucked up. Maybe protection from disappointment? That might do. Certainly. I only messed up one other quest. I hope your disappointment will just be a distant memory after this drink. Thanks, this takes the edge off. Didn't realize my shoulders were so tense this entire time. Can I offer you 2 drinks as well? I'm fine, for now. Count me in, innkeeper. I don't really want to think about it. Perhaps understanding where we failed wouldn't be such a bad idea. I'll see what I can do. You want a brain drink. This might be just what you're looking for to understand the meaning of everything. 42! What? Weird, I don't even know where that came from. But this is good. My synapses are firing at the speed of light. Here's my conclusion. We may be really whoop. Was it that bad? You don't even know the half of it. Wait, this can't just be it, right? Grace and the others should have figured out something else by now. You probably already have some quests in store for us. Plans C, D, and X? I'm sorry, Hex. Archie and Melly couldn't find any leads. And Grace and Scully are still at it, but from what I've heard, they haven't found much either. That's... Come on, Innkeeper, stop joking around. I don't think this is very funny. Neither do I. Then what are you even doing here? What? If the Innkeeper doesn't have any quests for us, why are we wasting our time here? If you haven't noticed, the world might be ending soon. We failed to create the world-saving weapon. And now we're here to do what? Have a nice chat? Oi! Maybe overstepping there, wizard. Well, maybe someone needs to say it instead of just lazing around. Hicks. Sit your arse down. This is no time to lose your cool. We aren't just here to chat. Information about the group that went into the Twilight Chasm will reach this end first. Oh, information about the group that went into the Twilight Chasm will reach this end first. At this point, we need to know their fate. It would just be foolish to go run around without a plan. So, are we cool? I'm sorry. Not exactly a good look for a wizard to lose his head, is it? As long as you realize that yourself. I'll wait for the others. I guess it's time for another story, Innkeep. I'm looking forward to getting some context. Right. After our chat the other day, Kyle and I went to pick up Hex. Said our goodbyes to Kyle. He cried. Then he left for Myro Castle. Soon after, Caer and Rhea picked us up. They just stepped out of a tree right next to us. Rhea was pretty excited to take us up to the Highlands. Apparently, she's pen pals with the Yeti and never got the opportunity to visit. And then, whoosh. Whoosh. Yeah. 1 minute we're surrounded by nice lush woods, and then the next, vast mountains. Snow. A lot of snow. A lot of snow. You guys suck at descriptions. Our journey to the Highlands was so fast it's barely noteworthy. It was impressive. I mean, sure, evocation is obviously the superior school of magic. But I suppose such a feat of conjuration was pretty cool, even if nothing blew up. And then you had to keep babbling to Rhea about it until we reached the village. Well, Grace would have killed me if I didn't ask for details. While the view was great, we were pretty disoriented. Even when we found the village Clay told us about, No one could point us towards the temple. Caer looked like she was getting ready to throw people around if they continued to say they couldn't help us. It was clear no one knew anything. Even though we still had no idea where to go, we left the village. That's when Baya let out this gut-wrenching scream. It sounded kind of like this. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Thanks. I really appreciate you replicating that scream. But why? You guys insisted I stay to tell the tale. Did someone die? Oh, hi, Lenny. Good to see you too, Melly. No one died. Hex just got a little excited. Whoopsies. I see. Well, make sure not to scream like that anymore. Or no one will know when you really need a detective on the scene. After all, you don't want to be the next boy who cried detective. I'll keep that in mind. I'll go back to the board then. So, Baya let out a scream. We had no idea why she did, but before she could explain, we heard some loud footsteps approaching. It's hard to see with the heavy snowfall, but a huge silhouette was making its way towards us. Caer almost tore into it as soon as it was close. Before we knew it, Baya rushed forward. I almost attacked Baya's pen pal. You actually met the abominable Yeti. Really nice fellow. Also pretty good with directions. They pointed us towards the temple. When they did, I noticed their well-crafted ring made of something like opal. Couldn't help but ask them about it. Turns out they got it from the temple. That really got the Yeti talking. We learned a bunch about the temple's jewelry-making business. About how anyone approaching the stronghold as unannounced would be seen as an enemy. Which is a horrible way to run a business. And the Yeti explained that only a select group of trusted people are allowed on the premises. They didn't want to help us get in, though. Something about getting their jewelry buying rights revoked. But at least we knew the way, and soon, with that invisibility finally kicking in, we saw it before us. Lo and behold, the Temple of Error, where the Flame of Leviathan is kept. Sounds blasphemous. The trek up there was brutal. It was so much walking I thought my feet were going to fall off. It wasn't so bad. Winding path looked real nice with all the sparkling snow. It's easy for you to say, you just vaulted over all that rubble. I guess we did get to the gate eventually. It was closed, of course, a gigantic wet slab of stone in weathered condition. If there's one thing I know about this sort of thing, it's that the gates like this are super inconvenient. Good thing we didn't want to waltz through the main gate anyways. No, with the invisibility effect from your potion still active, we started to check for any other points of entry. There was so much trouble we figured out there must have been somewhere for it to slip through. Well, there wasn't. I was already starting to feel this itch of the invisibility wearing off. We were running out of time. Come on, tell the innkeeper what you decided to do next. We might have tried to scale the temple walls. We made it close to the top, but then the stone started to crumble right under our hands. Next was the first to fall, but it didn't take long for us to follow. Though, it's a good fall when the wizard can cast a spell to slow our descent rather than break our necks. There, I thought you guys just wanted a big group hug. If you want more group hugs, maybe cast that spell earlier than 5 feet before hitting the ground. Oh, sure, I'll try to practice spellcasting while falling at terminal velocity more for next time. Well, you did manage it before you turned into a big puddle of adventurous soup. If only you had managed to land literally anywhere else. I didn't even know how creatures that big lived out there. Aye, me neither. Right next to us, where we all thought was a snow-covered mountain, an eye as big as Caer opened up. It was a guardian of the temple. It slowly lifted his massive head out, and we realized the mountain path we were walking on earlier was no path, but the body of the Gwyver. Its snake body slowly unfurled from around the temple. While shaking the snow off itself, it revealed its pure white iridescent scales. For a few moments, it just stared us down. The gigantic opal embedded between its eyes shone with every color imaginable. But I wouldn't have given to work with an opal of such fine quality. It's good to hear you guys had a good mythical moment out there. But I, for one, was worried about the overgrown snake with wings. Wyvern unfurled its wings from where they had been tucked against his body and rose into the air. Attack position. It struck with such speed we only avoided it thanks to Caer's quick reflexes when she pushed us into the snow. All I could think about was I didn't want to fight it. When it was getting back into its position for another strike, I screamed our intentions out. I couldn't imagine the Dragon's Guardian will be indifferent to our objective. It didn't seem to care much about it, though. Or didn't hear us. I didn't want to give up. We had to communicate in a way it couldn't ignore. So we choreographed an expressive dance. No. Not really. But that would have been a lot funnier. In any case, instead of trying to fight it, I told the others to get moving and get our message across. By writing it in big, large letters in the snow. Ever tried to stomp out letters while a giant reptile is attacking you, Innkeeper? Heck of a core workout. I think I developed muscles where no muscles should ever develop. Watch out, you might become the first wizard to complete a push-up. And did it work? The push-up? No, the writing in the snow thing. Wasn't sure at first. But when the attack stopped, I started looking intently at what we were written. Then it launched itself in our direction again, but instead of trying to attack us, it dove into snow. The ground beneath us started shaking until all of us were suddenly lifted on top of its head. I thought we were ascending to Tuat's realm for a second, not gonna lie. Instead, we were just lifted higher and higher into the air. Towards the temple. Soon we could see the tower emerging from the temple grounds. The Guardian must have understood us after all, because he was taking us to the only place I could have imagined the flame to be. Soon we were close enough to jump down from the Guardian. And then I saw the altar. And what did you see? That's the thing. We saw nothing. Nothing. No great flame of Leviathan. Just a devastated altar. And an empty basin where the flame should have rested. We were so foolish. The clues were already there when we were approaching the temple. All the rubble, the poor state of the building. The flame was extinguished during the flood, long before we ever set foot in the Highlands. I should have known that an eternal flame was too good to be true. It was all such a waste of time. You can imagine our shock when we saw it, Innkeeper. The realization slowly began to settle in. There would be no way of forging that weapon. Nothing to wield against the necromancer. Up there at the altar, everything was so quiet. The priest hadn't reached us yet. There was just the sound of the wind, and the crushing disappointment we were all feeling. The Guardian didn't need to say a word. I understood it either way. Whatever emotions we were feeling, they couldn't compare to the grief of the Guardian's eyes. Eventually, we were joined by some of the priests who confirmed what we had already surmised. They lost their main object of worship on the day of the flood. At least our disappointment was somewhat softened by the warm meal the priests offered us. I think they felt bad for us. There's community in shared grief. They were pretty interested in that sword of yours as well. Considering everything we learned in the last few days, the mind and divinity of it feels noteworthy. I'll cherish it nonetheless. I'm just glad it'll remain a memento of my grandma. It was stupid to think I could try to rival her feats. How would this have changed if I did something differently? I'm actually going to look this up because I know I saw some. There's no real way to succeed at this quest from what I found. A flood's a flood and it does what it does, but there are some differences depending on which drink you serve. Interesting. So this is actually... the one I did was actually the better of the two options. Because the other one, they just fight their way up to it. But I didn't expect you to talk to those priests for so long. Never seen you so forthcoming before, Rhea. And exactly every day you see that kind of smithing mastery on display. The jewelry those priests that were decked out in was wonder to behold. Straight dripping. No. Please don't. Hey, you don't complain when Inigo says it. That level of craftsmanship is to be expected of Ur's people, I guess. They're really generous as well, practically forced those opals onto you. And that blueprint. You're misunderstanding that one, Caer. That was for ye. There's a sword blueprint that's been passed down since the conception of that temple. A form worthy of a dragon's might, as they put it. And then they wasted it. I know you won't hear it, but if you ever feel different, it'd be an honor to forge it for you. We eventually got ready to head back. I was worried about the lack of trees around us, but Baya seemed unbothered. We headed out to the courtyard, where slowly but surely she grew a whole tree. Its branches were stark white and covered in gleaming leaves. I asked her afterwards what kind of tree it was, but she replied that it was just the dream of the soil. Don't know what that meant. The priest looked very touched by its appearance. But we needed to be on our way, so into the tree we went. We stopped by Baya's and headed over here. So that's that. Never had such a depressing walk back to the tavern. Oh, quit your yapping. You're going on and on about all this all the way over here, too. It's easy for you to say. After all, you got those gems, great for your stupid competition. Some of us were a bit put off by this quest failing. Maybe just come out and say what your problem is. My problem is you're acting like everything's fine. Wait, was that me? Did it stop? Seems like it. Is everyone okay? More or less. Yeah. What about Melanie and the others? I'll go. Alright. Thanks, Rhea. I'll take my leave. We told our story, there's no other reason for me to stick around. I know this is a hard time for all of us. But I need to check on Grace. Goodbye, Hex. It's getting late. There's always room for you upstairs if you're tired, Caer. It's fine. I'll keep you company. Things must be really dire if you're offering that. What do they say? Desperate times call for desperate measures? Last Dawn. Oh, crap. Welcome back. Keep it. Okay, where are the others? Inigo's outside trying to calm Void down. We didn't want him to throw up in your tavern. Did he have a panic attack? I hope Tia isn't giving him too hard time about it. Oh shit, did Tia die? She isn't, right? No. Where is she then? Gone. She's gone. She left? No, she's dead. Tia can't be dead. You're right. She's way too stubborn to die. Well, she did. Holy shit, was this a failure? Okay, this is also a double failure. And I guess the drink choice changes who dies. I guess since I went with Jade's drink, Tia died. And if I'd gone the other way, Jade would have died. At least that's my guess. I'm sorry, that's awful? Yeah, you don't have to tell us that. Is anyone else? No, we got away just in time. That's good. What about Fable? Did you see him there? In the chasm, maybe? No, we didn't find them, though. What? I found a bunch of broken arrows not far from the portal. They were all engraved with pretty flowers. I think they were there. They just didn't come back. I hope they're okay. Maybe with the drink they would have been okay. What do you mean? You didn't make them a drinking keep? We had a bit of a fight. So you willfully endangered them? I had hoped it would stop them from going. Nothing could ever stop Fable from helping people, you idiot. I realize that now. I should thank the dragons I care more about my friend's eardrum than I care about yelling at you. I already regret it well enough, don't you worry. You better, if anything happened to them. If they ended up like Eleithyia. I know, me too. We shouldn't have left without her. Her body wasn't exactly cooperative. We couldn't have taken it with us if we tried. Don't call her that. What? An it. Clay. He's right. Have some respect. I'm just saying. Well, stop saying it. Alright, you three, calm down. No need to spill more blood. Please, tell us what happened. What does it matter? We abandoned her. That's what happened. We didn't do that. We abandoned the world. Our angel would have been disappointed in us. It's not like we had much of a choice. You would say that, wouldn't you? What's that supposed to mean? You always run. Of course you wouldn't choose anything else. I ran because I have something to come back to, Clay. So did she. Okay, how about a drink for calming those nerves? No. Time and place. I'll take one. I need to tell you what happened, after all, even though I rather wouldn't. Got anything to make that easier? Oh, and there's another ad break. Be back in just a few minutes, folks. Alright, everybody, we're jumping back in. So David asks for a drink. You want to tell me what happened? Anything to make it easier? I'm running out of secrets, though. Don't worry, there's no need for trading today. I don't have anything to wash away the regret. But maybe I can get you something to make the words flow easier. Here. Thanks for this little taste of normalcy. So I don't really know what to ask. Did you stop him? No. No. Beep. He was faster than us, somehow. Melly and Baya drew us a map to the portal so we could get there quickly, but when we arrived, we found a note stapled to a tree. It read, "If you value your lives, go home." He knew you were coming. Apparently, Jade and Tia argued about what to do, but we didn't exactly have a lot of options. So we went after him, right into the Twilight Chasm. It was... Calling it the realm of nightmares seems like an understatement in retrospect. Wouldn't have made it without Boy. And Tia's light. And Tia's light. We ran into the necromancer on his way back. Didn't even catch him before he got to He looked... unharmed. It's ridiculous how easy it must have been for him. In his hands he held an axe shaped like a dragon's talon, pulsating with magical energy. It was smaller than I thought it would be. Magical weapons tend to be size adjustable. Oh, right. Maybe we would have stood a chance if he hadn't walked into a cluster of nightmare creatures. I thought maybe they'd be a good distraction for him too, but... The necromancer called on them for aid in the chasm's tongue. Boy said he promised them freedom and endless nightmares. And just like that, they sided with him, and we were up against a necromancer, a god's axe, and a horde of monsters. We thought... we were well protected. The frost armor, it helped at first. It kept the creature's sharp claws at bay, but... whenever the necromancer got close to one of us, he cast some sort of modified fire spell thing first. Modified fire spell first thing. It melted our armor, and most of our defenses. At least we were fast enough to avoid most of the attacks thrown at us. Guess I was right about the speed. Doesn't feel good though, without Tia here to hear my "I told you so." The fire must have been difficult for you, Dave. It was. I managed not to get caught in it. Until we were pushed to the edge of the Twilight Chasm, back to the portal we had entered from. That's where he was headed, back towards Gaia. The others had already been pushed out by the nightmare creatures, but I was still in his way. When his fire magic hit me in the chest and I stumbled backwards, falling into the jagged ground. I froze. I wish I hadn't, but the fear took hold of me and I couldn't move. I lay there, charred, bleeding, terrified, and he just looked at me. I thought, this is it. It's over. I'm going to abandon Millie after all. And then, after what felt like an eternity, he just walked through the portal and left me there, alive. I scrambled after him, of course, after I regained my senses. I don't know why he spared me. Maybe he briefly remembered he has a bleeping heart. Maybe. It doesn't matter, I guess. When I charged back into the fight, it looked even worse than it had moments ago. Every time a monster went down, he brought them back up. We couldn't break through, couldn't even get close to him until... Clay cut down 4 of them at once, and Tia was quick enough to take advantage of the opening. Suddenly, she was face to face with a necromancer, fighting him one-on-one. Right in the middle of the moon pools, under Cassiopeia's light. It's true, you know. You can see all the 7 moons reflected in their clear waters all at once. It would have looked beautiful if it hadn't been for all the blood. I tried to get to her and help, but I kept getting swarmed. Tia's blood is gold, did you know that? No, and I wish I didn't now. Yeah, me too. I'll spare you all the details. She fell and he struck her again, until she stayed down. And then... He brought her back. Her body, that is. Tia wasn't in there anymore. She would never have fought Clay willingly. I was trying to get to him, but she just wasn't letting me through. And I couldn't hurt her. She's my best friend. We kept trying to fight. Kept trying to channel our anger into victory against him. But I couldn't stop thinking about who was going to end up with empty eyes next. When I heard Clay scream after Tia cut through his shoulder, I had to do something. So I yelled out for all of us to run. Inigo pulled Voy away, clearing a path for us to escape, and I tried to pull Clay away from Tia, away from his death. He's much stronger than me, though. So I called out to Jade for help. For the record, I think we're cowards for leaving, but Tia would have beaten my ass if I let Clay die. And it was the right decision. You decided to save each other. Tia would have been proud of you. I don't know about that, but at least we're still alive. At least you're alive. Jade had me pull Clay away from the fight, and we ran. We ran and we ran until Voy collapsed. When he got back up, we made our way to your tavern. And now we're here. I'm glad you all made it back, but I'm sorry you had to go through all of that. Why did we have to? Why didn't Cassiopeia save us? Save her. The dragons are neutral. The dragons are bleep. Sure are. The real bleep is the madman who tried to kill her. We have to go back. I don't think that's a good idea, bud. We have to. We have to retrieve her body. You can't have her. Now we can use her to navigate that stupid portal, and she would hate that. She would hate being turned into another monster he could use. If we can't get her back, we can at least have her... We at least have to bring her here to give her a proper burial. We can't do that, Clay. We don't even know where they are headed right now. If we'd stayed, we might. But we didn't. Thanks to you. But it is what it is, right? You say you can't go back, so we can't change anything. We screwed up. We played right into his hands. All this power and strength and magic, and we didn't change anything. Hold on, I'm sure you did your best. What's the point of doing our best if it doesn't save anyone? I can't even feel her anymore. The bracelet, it's just empty. There's just an absence where Tia should be. I didn't even get to make her potato soup. I feel like if we had just done something different, if I hadn't been so stubborn, I don't know if you could have changed anything. Why do you sound so sure of that? I think Necromancer, I think he heard everything. What you planned, I mean. How could that even be possible? After you left the jackjaw near my window, I think it was a spy, and it heard everything. What? How does that even happen? How did you not notice that? Hi, Violet. Stop by and wish you a great stream. Thank you so much. I'm going to give you a shout out. All you lovely people here. Violet is a nice streamer. They do a lot of retro games and stuff. They're also pushing for affiliates, so please be sure to stop by and wish them some luck and give them some lurks and views and stuff. Yes. But thank you for dropping by, Violet. I don't know. I'm sorry. No, I'm in the wrong window. All I'm saying is, it's not your fault the plan failed. He outsmarted us. All of us. There's nothing we could have done? That can't be right. What's the point of all this then? If he knows everything, we might as well give up. He has Urzak's. He has an army of nightmare creatures and more. And she's gone. The only person who'd know what to do is gone. And we don't have a magical greatsword either. You gotta be kidding me. What? Magic flame was put out by the flood. Bleep. So we've lost? It's over? Not yet. He hasn't won yet either. Even if it feels like he has. We're still here, so we can still fight. We can still stand in his way. Hope will only abandon us if we let it. You're right. Us giving up, that's not what she would have wanted. What she would have wanted was to live, to get a chance to play more than some pointless martyr. I want her back. Clay. No, I don't want to hear anything else from you. You didn't even notice the spotting bird in your tavern. Or maybe you did, who knows? You're being dishonest with us all the time. Do you even really care about any of this? Of course I care. I care more than you could ever imagine. I wish I could bring her back too, Clay. Well, can you? No. What help are you then? Screw this, I'm done hearing excuses. I'm done pretending we'll make it through this. Clay, please stay. Fuck, that's our barbarian. We don't have a strong front line and we lost the barbarian. Can I have one of those drinks now? No one to go after him? If I was him, I'd kill all of us, so no. What kind of drink do you want? I don't know. Something fast, maybe? Didn't help with the fight, but it might help with my stomach. It's worth a shot, I guess. We're making her a hot chocolate. There was one that was like a double negative to... This should be fine. See you, Violet. Thanks for stopping by. Use every infusion at least once. Some sparkle on top. Fast and quick. Just how I like it. What kind of drinks did she like? Defense all the way. Adds up. Uh-oh, this does not look good. The Wheel of Fortune. Alright. Oh, we're in Act 4, The Wake. Okay. Why did no one take that last quest? Because it's there. I think I might stop here tonight because I want to make sure I have plenty to stream next time. So let's look for somebody to raid. Let's see here. A lot of people with like one viewer. Da-da-da. Hmm. Hmm. You know what? Sure, we'll raid Iris. I know I raid her a lot, but she's a good friend. So. And Magdala is down. Oh, she actually got him. Nice. All right. Thank you all for joining me. Next stream will be tomorrow night. We're going to be starting up a new playthrough of Fury. So I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, night, wherever it is in your part of the world. Take care of yourselves. Reminder, my new YouTube video is going to be going up in a couple of days. On Wednesday, specifically at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. So hop on over there and click the little notification button so you get to see it when it comes up. But I will see you all later. Take care of yourselves and have a good night.